As reported by Russian media on October 5, 2023, Russian paratroopers have recently taken delivery of a batch of refurbished BMD-2 airborne combat vehicles and BTR road armored personnel carriers as part of the ongoing modernization efforts within the Russian armed forces. The equipment was supplied by the Volgograd branch of Kurganmashzavod, an enterprise part of the Rostec High Precision Complexes holding. These vehicles have been designated for deployment to airborne units, with some earmarked for use on the Ukrainian front line. During the refurbishment process, all major components and assemblies underwent replacement or thorough repair, followed by sea and fire tests to ensure operational readiness. While the exact number of vehicles in this particular shipment remains undisclosed, it is part of a larger trend where similar transfers occur nearly on a monthly basis. Notably, the production and repair capacity for these vehicles has seen substantial growth, as explained by numerous articles on our website. The BMD-2, designed by the Russian defense company Arkady Shabalin, is an airborne tracked armored infantry fighting vehicle, IFV, that was first developed in 1985 and entered service with the Russian armed forces in 1988. Its primary role is to provide infantry support for airborne forces, with the added capability of being airdropped into combat zones thanks to its lightweight hull, weighing only 8,225 kilograms. The vehicle can carry up to 4 paratroopers in addition to its crew of 3. The BMD-2 boasts a one-man turret housing a 30mm 2A42 stabilized cannon, a coaxial 7.62mm PKT machine gun, and an anti-tank guided missile launcher for AT-4 or AT-5 missiles. Its hull and turret are constructed from welded aluminum alloy, providing protection against small arms fire and shell splinters. In terms of mobility, it is powered by a 240 horsepower liquid-cooled diesel engine and features a hydropneumatic suspension system, achieving a maximum road speed of 60 km per hour and a cruising range of 450 to 500 km. Additionally, the BMD-2 is fully amphibious, reaching a top speed of 10 km per hour in the water, thanks to 2 water jets at the rear of the hull. Although the BMD-2 has been in service for several years, it has been complemented by more advanced models like the BMD-3 in the Russian airborne forces, playing a vital role in providing fire support and mobility during airborne operations. Initially adopted by the Soviet Army in the 1980s, the BMD-2 is currently undergoing upgrades to the level of more modern BMD-2KAU and BMD-2M. The BTR Road, also nicknamed the Robot, is a Soviet-designed tank destroyer introduced in 1983. It was primarily developed in the late 1970s to transport anti-tank teams supporting the Soviet VDV airborne forces. Its key external modification from the base vehicle, the BTRD armored personnel carrier, is the inclusion of a 9P135M anti-tank missile launcher mounted on its right roof side. This launcher is capable of firing 9 M113 Concours anti-tank missiles, with the option to use 9 M111 Fago missiles. Both missile types are SACLOS guided, following the gunner's sight for targeting accuracy. Having acquired a formidable reputation since their founding decades ago during the Soviet era, the Russian airborne forces have already proven their mettle on more than a single occasion during the special military operation in Ukraine. The mission of the airborne assault troops is to make possible a quick response to national emergencies. The airborne troops are considered an elite force because they are individually selected from volunteers based on physical fitness, intelligence, and loyalty. By traditional military standards, the airborne troops are not a powerful force. Each division is assigned about 6,000 lightly armed troops with lightly armored vehicles. Their value is that they have special training and have operational and strategic mobility provided by long-range aircraft. Their parachute assault capability means that they can be deployed anywhere within airlift range in a matter of hours without the need for an airbase in friendly hands. However, resupply and support by heavy ground troop formations are necessary in a matter of days because the airborne troops lack the self-sustaining combat and logistical power of regular ground forces. As of 1995, the core goal of the Russian army was to establish a mobile force with two main elements, the immediate reaction force and the rapid deployment force. The immediate reaction force was composed of mostly the VDV. In contrast, the rapid deployment forces were the heavy portion, based on tanks, motorized rifle, and heavy artillery. During the Cold War, each Soviet airborne division normally comprised nearly 8,500 men, including artillery and combat support elements. Since 1930, the Soviet Army maintained the world's largest airborne force. As of 1980, the USSR was believed to have 8 active-duty airborne divisions. Today's Russian airborne is still the world's largest. As of 2003, the Russian army had 4 airborne divisions and 3 independent airborne brigades. Each division is assigned about 6,000 lightly armed troops with lightly armored vehicles. Their value is operational and strategic mobility provided by long-range aircraft in a matter of hours. The Soviet Union was the first state to constitute airborne forces, the first to drop airborne forces into battle, the first to include a major airborne drop in a major field exercise, and the first to totally mechanize its airborne forces.